Hi guys.
Are you excited to see us again? Because we really are excited to be recording this video. This is part three of a series of videos devoted to watercolor markers. We have been mostly talking about markers and exploring their different characteristics. This time, we will be sketching, right?
Yeah.
So if you have any questions about the markers and how they're different from uh, alcohol-based markers, what paper to use them on, go back to the previous two videos. They will probably answer most of your questions. If you still have any questions left, you know what to do. Leave your questions in the comments, and also don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and express your love to Julia and your
And
gratitude.
Anna.
Well, and yes, just tell us that you love watching the videos, and then we'll make more.
Yeah.
Julia, are you ready to sketch?
Of course, of course. In this video, I want to show you two different techniques that you can use for these watercolor markers. Yeah, let's start. One of my favorite subjects are lighthouses. You probably know them already. And how can we draw a lighthouse? I want to use this object as an example, and we can use um, watercolor markers in two different ways. For example, we have two nibs. I have already told it, and this one. And let's use the bullet nib, for creating the first sketch, a very quick one. For example, we can use the marker for sketching as we usually use fine liners or brush pens, like this, for example, and we can add some greenery or a suggestion of greenery, and we can use the brush pen, a little bit too much water, to make it a little bit more interesting, just to add this watercolor effect, and maybe here a little bit. And that's the first technique. A really sketching technique. What we also can do is use these watercolor markers for a watercolor technique. So use them as the as watercolor, but it provides a lot of control, so you can use them a little bit easier. Maybe for some people it's easier to use markers than a normal brush, a regular brush. Okay, so and for that, first I want to make a sketch, a pencil sketch, and I'm going to draw the same picture. Here we will have some trees, the lighthouse, and a small house.
Is there a reason why you're using a blue pencil rather than, a graphite pencil for this?
I think it looks a little bit more interesting. That's the only reason, actually. I don't know. I like to use colored pencils for sketching. I don't know.
Well, it's a
You
watercolor
also,
sketch. You usually use, to make this preliminary sketch, you usually use a graphite pencil.
yeah, and it's absolutely the way you can use them too. But I don't know. I think I'm an artist, and I I can't explain
I
why.
don't have to explain myself, right? Okay, fair enough, Julia. Go on. Looks great. Looks great. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, so how to apply these markers to our sketch and create a beautiful um, watercolor sketch from this pencil sketch. Um, so we apply some color to the paper, and then we spread the color the pigment and create the volume. Okay, here I can add more lines, some shadows, and let's add some other colors like red. Oh, it's not red. It's more like magenta. Let's add red to the roof. And here also some red, brown, a darker brown for the shadow. So we have shadow on this side this time. And for the grass, let me use this brush pen. And for the greenery, and let me see here some color for the foreground. And for the some trees in the background, you can use this color, maybe a little bit darker color, like this. Actually, objects in the background are quite dull, not that bright, so I also use some purple to create, to make it a little bit less bright. Okay, let's use some water to create the watercolor look here, like this. And as you can see, we can easily blend colors and create this gradients. I think it looks really cool, by the way. A little bit less bright in the background, like this. And for the trees in the background, they shouldn't be that prominent, so I also make them a little bit awake, maybe even less pigment. I remove some pigment here to make them look less bright. And let's add some color to the sky. And here I draw around the objects actually. And use my watercolor brush to connect the trees and the sky. And to spread the color, the pigment. And use more water here. Like this. Let's add some, maybe pink color. Yeah, I think it looks quite bright and fun. And get some color from this side to the other side. And blend these colors here. And I think it would be really cool to add some windows here, some light. Oh, this side is a little bit dirty, so yellow for the light, also here. And this is the first layer, so we can use a layering technique for creating actually a more impressive sketch. And then as the second layer, when the paint is dry or almost dry, we can add some lines for the darker shadows. And refine our sketch a little bit more. Let's add a fence here and maybe some color in the background and in the foreground, some textures, darker shadows, maybe these are stones or something like this in the foreground, and I think it looks pretty good actually. A little bit more darker color on the shadow side and also here. And here we are. This is the watercolor technique, and I think it looks quite cool actually.
Well, it totally looks different from your, well, let's say more usual sketches. And it
Yeah.
looks a lot more dramatic, a lot more colorful, and yeah, totally spectacular.
So yeah, I especially wanted to show it's not the technique that I would use a lot, I think, but and maybe
No?
not the picture I would draw, but I wanted to show the technique that you can use, and that's I think very useful for people that love to use different materials, try out different materials, and also love to use watercolor, but are a little bit insecure about their um, um, what do you,
Control
control. Yes,
of the
control of the
flow of
brush, of
paint
the
and water.
flow. Yeah, this is much easier than to use
Okay,
regular
didn't look so
watercolor.
easy to me. Honestly, I thought it was kind of, well, unpredictable how it was going to turn out.
A little
But
bit, yes,
but
but it's
maybe
always with watercolor.
it's just
Watercolor.
because we don't see you using watercolor markers very often. Hoping to see more of that from now on. And
Yeah.
well, thank you for agreeing to this experiment, painting live with a medium that you don't know too well.
Um, yeah. I maybe I know it quite well, but I don't um, use it that much. So I don't, not from practice, only the
Yeah, but that's
technical.
what we always, emphasize. There's a difference between knowing and knowledge and skill. I can
Absolutely,
defer a bit
yes,
out of
absolutely.
practice, so it could be quite challenging. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today then. We're going to let you go, Julia. Thank you all for watching. And don't forget to stop by at bravebrushes.com to check out how you can learn from Julia. Happy sketching and see you next week.
Bye.